Episode 105, How to Be a Social Entrepreneur. The phrase social entrepreneur is a relatively new term, but I like it. Although it now has a name, it is not a new idea. It describes what really happens when a person or a group finds a crying social need and founds an organization to fill that need. I, Rod Murphy, am one of those social entrepreneurs. I am a defender of women and their babies, born and in utero. I am aware of conception and babies and abortion. Being a believing Irish Catholic has provided me with the faith, the logic, and the courage to defend those babies and mothers. I have done that for 63 years. I have written a book about that called Stopping Abortions at Death's Door, available on Amazon. The following slightly edited section on social entrepreneurship is part of that book. Social entrepreneurship is much like small business, who would see an opportunity to make money and then fills an unfilled mercantile need. Many nonprofits are started by people with wonderful dreams, which they are able to sell to donors. The really hard part of implementing that dream begins then. Charisma that was needed earlier must be replaced by hard-nosed management skills like setting up the legal structures and procedures, planning, recruiting the right staff, monitoring, continued fundraising, managing the enterprise, and in our case, helping women and saving babies. Maybe it's time business schools had courses for social entrepreneurs that would teach the skills needed to make those dreams come true. I have been part of many social entrepreneurial beginnings. As I write this, I have been involved in many pregnancy center startups. I was also a founding board member of a maternity home startup in Worcester, Massachusetts. My working life intersects with my life as a believing Catholic. I am often asked how I got so involved in fighting abortion. My answer is long, and it involves the influence of my parents and the nuns from my grammar school. At the end of my answer, I always encourage the questioner and others to volunteer to save babies because of the combined blessings that flow to the mother, to the baby, to the volunteers, and to the organization. Many good things come from fighting against abortion. Using myself as an example, I would tell that questioner that I am a social and business entrepreneur. I currently own more than one business, and I have started many others. The things I have learned from my businesses are put to work in my volunteer activities to the betterment of both. And also, the things that I have learned as a volunteer leader in the pro-life movement have helped my business in many ways also. This is called synergism. God works with us in our efforts to do His will and perform good works. He has been with me in spite of all my faults, leading me throughout my life, my business, my family, and charitable work. All entrepreneurs are creative people, and not enough are also pro-life. If we could put those pro-life entrepreneurs to put their efforts into starting crisis pregnancy centers, they would be able to find imaginative solutions to startup problems. Those folks are usually ambitious and dogged, two traits needed for success. In my experience, hands-on practical people do much better than social worker pie-in-the-sky types in getting results. Business-oriented volunteers need incentives. Ordinarily, those incentives would be money and profits earned through business success. But in my plan, the incentive would come from the satisfaction of doing our Christian duty for following God, from a concern for needy people, but mostly this pro-life social entrepreneur could successfully reduce the number of babies dying now by the thousands at American abortion mills. The kind of social entrepreneur I am thinking about could take an old, underperforming crisis pregnancy center, move it next to an abortion clinic, change some operating methods, and turn it into a baby-saving, mother-helping success. These folks have skills in leadership and in recruitment of other performance-oriented volunteers. They have passion, are often visionaries, and are very practical. I hope and pray they will be the leaders of this new task force. And probably the most important factor is that every pregnancy center needs an accepted leader. This leader must have real power and a thought out vision/plan, along with a supportive board of directors. This new center would also need much help from other volunteers. She or he should wake up every morning thinking about how her center can be improved so that it saves more babies and helps more mothers. That a social entrepreneur. If this episode sparked something for you, head to the show notes below and make a donation. Buy Me a Coffee is an app that allows consumers of podcasts, YouTube, etc., who appreciate a creator's podcast to donate. That would help my mic and my camera to stay on and my stories flowing. It's free to you, but not for me. Please judge what value you get from this and other of my episodes and join my supporters by making a donation to buymeacoffee.com/degreasings. Degreasings is spelled DEGREASINGS. Buymeacoffee.com/degreasings. Thank you. This is Rod Murphy. Thank you for viewing or listening to my podcast episodes. I really appreciate it. If you liked it, and if you so choose, I ask you to send a good review and or refer a friend who might be interested in this Old Boston podcast series. Again, my thanks.